What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? No, everyone isn't having. Oh, hey, I Google apparently just got that, and Niner Faithful Radio Facebook page just popped up. So apparently, if you type in "What's up, y'all?" It's your boy Niner Faithful into Google, it pops up with your boy's Facebook page. Anyway, big shout outs to, I guess I should flip it right side up. Tequila Spikes, Joe Staley, and Dante Hittner for signing the Niner Faithful Radio hat. I told them if they signed it, I would put it on the podcast, but it makes the hat look that much saucier. I can't believe I'm so excited. I got Joe Staley's autograph. Big shout out to Nick, and of course, my president, the La Presidente of the 408 Niner Empire, for inviting me to the gold mine this Sunday. Although we didn't win, we still, had some fun. Let's see. We got him. Let me see. Do we got the man? Oh, I guess his device just dropped out. All right. Well, why don't we just go ahead and go through the normal intro like we always do? Of course, everybody listen to the end of the show to get a special coupon code to save 10% off of For the Faithful by the Faithful t-shirts at NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. Of course, get all your officially licensed Niner gear by using our affiliate link. Not only do you save 10%, but it really does help out the show. The link will be in the video or the description of this video or podcast, or you can see it scrolling across your screen right now. Go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can find the show. And, of course, follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, with that being said, boys and girls, faithful of all ages. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, faithful of all ages. There you go. Let's get this show started. Yay! Feels horrible. We're trying to get Brian on the show right now. We're, of course, having technical difficulties, but for once, it isn't my fault. But obviously, we know the Niners lost. Yeah, I don't even know where to start with this one. That's why I was hoping that Brian be on because, me personally, I'm pretty down about the team right now. I'm not going to lie. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what positives to take from this game. I mean, obviously there were some positives to take away from this game, but, obviously not enough. Why don't we go ahead and see if we can figure out Brian's issues. Let's go ahead and take a break on Twitter or Twitch and see if we can figure out what's going on, or I might just have to do the show solo bolo again. Oh, man. We don't got anybody watching now anyway. So, welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, to Faithful Studios. Let's see. Okay, we got about 2 minutes left. So, we haven't been doing the ad that long. Um, I mean, obviously, some I don't even want to say it's a positive because of the way that it happened, but yeah, it wasn't the best performance by the Niners. It was actually pretty embarrassing. I don't know. I don't know what to say to this one, y'all. Like I don't even have an excuse for us to make. I mean, they had no freaking Kyler Murray. They had no DeAndre Hopkins. They had no AJ Green. The running back went out, I believe, after the first play. He took himself out the game, or got taken out of the game. Still doing it. So according to Kyle, it seems like Jimmy's gonna be the starter again. I mean, honestly, I'm starting to think we're not gonna see Trey Lance. I don't know why. I'm confused on why he's not starting. Like I get it, Jimmy giving us the best chance to win, or at least that's what the coaching staff thinks. But you know what? That's a freaking problem then. Like it's pretty much halfway through the season, and Trey's just not ready to take the field at all. Like, I mean, obviously he is because he freaking started a game. Like, I understand it's not going to be perfect. I understand he's fully not ready. He doesn't know how to read defenses quite right and everything like that. Well, then let him fucking learn. He's not going to fucking learn on the sidelines. And the reason I'm starting to get pissed is because we already had this season chalked up. Or I shouldn't say that. Obviously, the season's not over. But, I mean, it's pretty much over. It's not officially over, but, I mean, we got to go on a ridiculous losing streak that, honestly, I just don't think it's in us. It's going to start against the Yams. Actually, I believe it actually could. We'll get into that more. And we'll get that into more of the on our preview show, but I don't understand because he's obviously going to come in next year. I don't know what you're going to expect him to get better at. But okay. Wait, do we have him? We have the man with the master plan. What's cracking, Brian?
Hey, how's it going? I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good, brother. It's all good. We all know. I can never complain about people's technical difficulties when we all know the shit that I struggled with for years. But like I was just saying, I don't really even know what to say after this game, bro. You obviously did the post game show.
Yeah,
so
pretty miserable.
I don't. I was there, and my number one takeaway from this game is I was just like obviously 31 to 7 at one point in time and everything like that, but I kept on waiting for something to happen. Like, honestly, my bad, Mama Debbie, but I actually bumped into Mama Debbie's knee that she tore her meniscus on when Talanoa Hufanga thought that we all thought was a scoop and score. I didn't see that he was alive. I didn't see his elbow down or anything like that. Obviously, you were able to see it in the replay. He was clearly down. But yeah. I was waiting for a play like that because that was what happened in 2019. Right, we all remember the DeForest Buckner scoop and score that brought us back in the Seahawks game. Obviously, we eventually lost that game, but I mean, I just the Kittle play, just these plays that happen with winning football teams that carry the momentum. The 83-yarder in last week in Chicago with Debo. Yeah. I just kept on waiting for that play that was going to wake us up, and you were going to be like, all right, this is when we're going to get the momentum, because like. It just seemed every time that we got some type of momentum or something, the Cardinals had an answer.
Yeah, or we shot ourselves in the foot, basically.
Yeah, and that was, and this is the most frustrating thing, because if you think in a 4 31-14 ball game, that there wasn't, whether play two plays here. But honestly, I think the big one is that Kittle fumble.
Yeah.
I think I won't necessarily say the Kittle fumble. I mean, obviously that was a drive killer, that was a momentum killer and everything. The Ayuk fumble is the one that got me, because the game was still in reach. We're driving, and that's why I don't want to fully put the blame on Jimmy. Look, did Jimmy have the best game? No, he didn't.
I think he had a somewhat better performance.
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously most of his yards were in garbage time, but I don't walk away saying we lost this game because of Jimmy Garoppolo. Did he have a part in it? Sure. He's a quarterback of the football team.
Yeah, but he didn't give us.
It's not like he walked out there and was throwing balls way over people's heads and threw 4 picks, and it wasn't like it was the Miami Dolphins game.
Yeah.
I felt that if we would have won that game, that would have been one of the games where you look at, you're like, okay, fine, Jimmy didn't have his best game, but apparently this is why he's supposed to be our starter, because he just finds a way to win.
Yeah.
And that's what I was waiting for, and I'm just not seeing it. And so I know that Jason had shared on our Facebook page today. It said it's starting to ask some tough questions, and I know that the fire Lynchahan birds are out and everything like that. And I want to make this very clear. Obviously, I won't speak for Brian. I won't speak for Jason or Kim or anybody who works for the company. But I'm not there yet. I'm not on the fire Lynchahan train. But I will say, is Kyle Shanahan partly to blame for the lack of success this year? Yeah, he is. Kyle Shanahan is partly to blame. Because you're the head fucking coach, bro. Guess what? Everything stops with you. The buck stops with you. Welcome to being the head coach. Especially when we know when push comes to shove, Kyle's the real decision maker of this, at least of the football team. Fine, Jed York will have final say. Obviously, he's the CEO. But as far as operations of the football team, Kyle Shanahan has a final say.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? It's not like this ain't 2018 where you can say, okay, well, how much of this roster is really the roster they want? Well, guess what? You know what? It's the point that anybody who was on this roster previously to 2017 is on this roster because Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch wanted them on this roster. Shit, we've re-signed Jimmy Ward twice.
Yeah.
Re-signed Eric Armstead. So anybody that's on this football team that's left up from the Trent Baalke era is on this football team because Kyle Shanahan wants them on this football team. So yeah, he deserves some of this blame. This I was just saying before we were able to get you on air, I don't think we're going to see Trey Lance start this year, and I think that's an issue. I really, at this point, really don't understand why the fuck not. How are you feeling? I'm not even. I know it says review, but really, honestly, it's not even about so much breaking about this game. Where do you think we go from here, Brian? Where the fuck do we go from here?
Honestly, I don't see nothing special. Well, out of this group, particularly, I just feel like let's just go ahead and I wouldn't say call it quits because obviously no team would ever. You could tank, but already halfway through the season. I mean, I just think it's gonna be tough on us, but I don't think Kyle will necessarily put Trey in because he thinks Jimmy's still the guy who could win us some football games. So underestimatingly, he's not under the bus next year or on a hot seat.
No,
I would say. So
that to me, that's the issue because I fully agree with what you said. Shanahan's going to come out here and tomorrow in his press conference. I don't think he had one today. Tomorrow in his press conference, he's going to say Jimmy gives us the best chance to start. Well, what is that? Because this is why I'm getting pissed because I haven't seen it. Uh-huh. So I'm missing. There's clearly a disconnect from what he's showing on the practice field and in the meeting rooms to what he's delivering on Sunday. Because I'm sorry, like I said, I fully don't want to. Because I thought Jimmy was actually throwing some dimes when he had time and his could set his feet and that type of nature, that type of thing. Jimmy was dropping some dimes on Sunday.
Yeah.
That touchdown pass to Brandon Ayuk was a thing of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fine, but it's about consistency now. And I'm just not saying it. So to me, the way I'm looking at it is I don't see why you don't start Trey. Because it's clear that Jimmy's not getting the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, he didn't play the bat. Well, you know what? Guess what? For all the praise Jimmy got and all he does is win and all that, right? Well, guess what? You know what? That could go the other way. So you know what, Jimmy? You're not. You got a lot of fucking credit for going 13-3 in 2019. You got a lot of credit for that. When we all know it ain't like Jimmy dragged the team kicking and screaming to 13-3. He was helped out, especially the first half of the season, by the defense.
Yeah.
So, fine. You want to say we're still in this bitch. You know, we're only shit. We would have won on Sunday. We'd have been a playoff team. So I understand people's not saying giving up the season, but you can't tell me. I'm not seeing the reasons that you stick with Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not seeing those reasons. Somebody tell me one. Please point to one. That's not what his record as a starter.
No, I mean, ultimately, I'm not the head coach of the
Of course not.
the Seattle, but at this point, I think just get Trey's reps and get him ready for next season because.
And that's what I'm saying. Like either way, if you want to say, hey, let's tank whatever, develop, bring out Deommodore Lenoir, bring out Ambry Thomas, and let's just take our lumps for the rest of the year. I don't think we're quite at that point, but okay, fine.
But
even if you want to say we're going full throttle, we still believe we could be a playoff team. All right, then put Trey in because I don't believe it what it is. Because now what you're doing is you're not only affecting 2021 here, you're affecting 2022. And the reason that you're affecting 2022 is we're all under the assumption, of course, that Trey's going to be our starter in 2022. So all the rookie lumps he would take next. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's to the point where it's like you're only delaying his development. Now we got to develop him next year, which ultimately probably means realistically we're not a real legit competitor at least 2023. So now all of a sudden we go into Trey Lance's third year of his contract, which is, of course, we know the big year because after the third year you can negotiate a new deal. So the benefits of having a rookie contract are now over.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, after only seeing Trey Lance in 2 seasons or a season, we have to make a decision on whether he's worthy enough of a second contract.
And
go ahead.
Before that, like, we're not going to tank. We don't even have a first-round draft pick. So we're going to get better placement spots for the second, third-round picks? I just don't think so.
I'm not about tanking. I really fully believe that every time your football team steps on the field, it should be for one thing and one thing only, and that's to get a victory. Yeah. I don't want a football team that's okay with fucking losing.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not okay with the football team because if that football team is okay with losing, then we have some real serious fucking issues.
Yeah.
Not even just about. I'm not even talking about coaching staff. I'm not even talking about organization. I'm talking about within the locker room. Like where I'm calling out Fred Warner. I'm calling out Nick Bosa, George Kittle. At that point, if they're allowing a locker room to I don't think they are. Please, I don't think that George Kittle. Let's be real. What was his fumble? His fumble was trying to do too much.
Yeah, because
his fumble was trying to make an amazing play. Yeah, that's what it was. Same with Brandon Ayuk. Their fumbles weren't lazy, lackadaisical fumbles. Their fumbles we're trying to do too much. We're trying to make a play. We're trying to get the offense jump started.
Yeah,
that's what they were. That's why you don't. Of course, you get mad. Of course, you say, "What the fuck?" You scream at your TV. Whatever you're going to do. But ultimately, you don't necessarily knock it because, I mean, you can't tell a football player not to be less aggressive. That's literally the opposite point of the sport.
Yeah. And, man, it's weird.
So I never want to say tank. But what I want to say is if you tell me, hey, look, Trey's going to lose his football games, But you tell me, hey, it's going to set up the next decade of this franchise, and we're going to be Super Bowl contenders every day for the then fuck 2021.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about 2021 as an individual season. Of course, I want us to win the Super Bowl. Of course, I want us to win. Of course, I want to make the playoffs, etc., etc., etc. But if you tell me that we'll sacrifice 2021 and fine, we'll lose instead of maybe going 9-7, we'll go, 6-11, 7-9, whatever.
Yeah.
Really, what's the difference? What's really the difference between 9-7 and 7-9? Really, what's the fucking difference? Nothing.
Yeah.
Either spot is probably not going to get you a playoff spot, obviously. So if you're not making the playoffs, then you fucking care about 7-9, 9-7. At that point, I'm interested in developing our rookie quarterback. This is a true turning point of the franchise. And it's, I don't want to say I don't believe in Shanahan, but there's an issue. Something needs to change. It can't be, look, whether that means Shanahan needs less power.
Uh-huh.
Maybe John Lynch should have final say, or Adam Peters, whatever the fuck needs to change, but something isn't happening. Because I'm embarrassed by that performance. I was in the gold mine invited by the Niners. My voice sounded like shit. I screamed, I yelled, I was all about that life on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that the team quit. I don't believe that. I don't believe we watched the football team quit. But when I watched Drake Kirkpatrick get run over for that, I believe it was the touchdown or the first down. I don't remember which one it was. I believe it was the touchdown that made it 31-7. To me, that I'm not going to say that's not a quit play, but that's just an embarrassment. That literally describes how I feel as a faithful right now. Like, that literally just describes where it's to the point where it was just like, that was embarrassing. Josh Norman losing his shit on the sideline. Like, where's the discipline in this football team? Now, I will say that face mask on Eric Armstead was one of the most bullshit calls I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Yeah. But
that's what made me feel it wasn't our day. Because look at that play. Amazing play. We were down, I believe we were only down by, I believe it was
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was 14, or it was 14-0.
Yeah.
1-7, whatever, but amazing play. Sacks him on third down.
Momentum
getting off the field. We would, I want to say that was on the drive that they took the 14-0 lead. I want to say that was the drive that they took the 14-0 lead.
Or the flag.
Or 17-3 or whatever it was. But the point was that literally is, I don't want to say that was the momentum swing of the game, but I really felt like, looking back, I'm like, that describes the day. Because that would have been the perfect play. Get off the field, get great pre-field position. All right, we're back moving. We're back in this bitch.
Yeah.
I literally remember going in to smoke a cigarette at halftime thinking, bro, we get a stop or a turnover right here. Score a touchdown. We're right back in this football game.
Yeah.
Like, at halftime, this game wasn't over. And so I don't know what to think about going forward.
I do have a comment actually.
Yeah.
You said about ownership or leadership, both. Yeah. I think it all starts with Kyle. I mean, that's embarrassing, man. I just watched his post game conference. Man, this guy does not take any type of leadership and ownership of anything he does wrong. He just points fingers, and I don't think that's a good things to listen or hear about. And I'm not a Kyle Shanahan hater. I like the guy. I think he's a stud out there. But
look, this is how really honestly I feel about Kyle Shanahan. Truthfully, who the fuck are we gonna get better? If we fire him today, he walks into the office. Jed York calls him in his office and said, Kyle, I've given you 5 years. You have the same record as a head coach, same winning percentage as Chip Kelly as a head coach. This isn't getting it done, right? Well, who the fuck are you going to get to want to come here? That's better. Who? I mean, did we forget who the 2 previous head coaches of this football team were before Kyle Shanahan? Okay. But ultimately, really truthfully, I think the biggest organization, I think Kyle has too much power. Because every person I've met, including my girlfriend, says he's an arrogant prick. Let's be real. Let's honestly, and I know this doesn't per se matter because it doesn't matter how he's, but let's be real. Kyle's a spoiled little rich boy. He's been a whole, let's not forget, his dad was a freaking head coach in the NFL too. Kyle Shanahan's family was not poor. So Kyle's a spoiled little rich kid who's always gotten his way. And so I think ultimately Kyle's stubborn, he's arrogant, and he believes his way is the right way. And the ultimate thing is even Bill Walsh, in all his genius, had common policy. Had John McVay, that said ultimately Eddie D took the title of team president away from Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it was the best thing for the franchise. Kyle has too much. Who does Kyle answer to? Who? I understand, obviously, of course, Jed York, the owner. You mean the one? You mean the man that's wanted to hire him? The rumors I've always heard is that after they fired Harbaugh, they wanted to bring in Mike Shanahan and have Kyle be OC. And then eventually when Mike Shanahan left, Kyle was going to become head coach. So apparently,
yeah, I heard that too.
Apparently, Jed York's wanted Kyle Shanahan for years. So it doesn't seem like he's going to get fired. So who the fuck does Kyle Shanahan answer to? Where is the accountability? Where is the and look, I believe in Lynch and In Lynch and we trust. I do believe they're going to bring us a championship. I'm sorry, I've seen it work. I've seen us 7 minutes away from winning a championship. There's no way I can't believe that it can't happen again. But there needs to be some accountability. Somebody needs to go over there, flip over a desk, look Cal in the eyes and say, fix this fucking shit. No more excuses. I don't want to hear how Jimmy gives us the best chance to live. God damn, we mortgage the future for this kid. At least bring him in. Look, I understand about not starting him because there probably are some locker room politics behind this. I'll never forget. I've heard it from very reliable sources. Joe Staley was pissed as fuck that Alex Smith lost his job to Cap. Not everybody in the Niner locker room was on board with Cap. So I understand there's some locker room, but it's to the point where you're hurting the football team now because this is a playmaker that we no longer have. We're looking at the 2021 class. On the preview show, I said this is one of the most important draft classes in the Lynch era because we know what we gave up in this draft. Trey Sermon, healthy scratch. I believe Ambry Thomas was up this week. Diamador Lenore, healthy scratch. Aaron Banks. I believe Aaron Banks was a healthy scratch as well this year. So that's literally your second, a third, and a fourth and a fifth round pick. All healthy scratches. That's unacceptable. When there are players that literally are on the board that are starting for teams. In the secondary. What's one of the biggest issues of the football team? Our secondary. What's one of the biggest issues we guessed about going into the offseason? Our secondary. I love Jason Verrett. I love his story. I had no problem with the Niners re-signing Jason Verrett. I had absolutely no problem with that, especially on a one-year prove-it deal. But it was a disservice to this franchise to have Jason Verrett be the main plan at corner. And Emmanuel Mosley, who, by the way, hasn't proven to be exactly healthy his whole career. So something needs to happen. Something. Because we can't go status quo. I don't even want to fucking hear the goddamn words 2019 anymore. I don't. And you know, I'm pointing the finger mostly at myself, bro, because you and Jason, as my co-host, know more than anything else. I'm quick to pull up 2019. I do not understand it. I don't understand how you can have a roster that literally majority of our starting lineup was the same as Super Bowl 54. But this can't continue. Something's got to change. And I believe we're going in the right direction. Like, you know, the team made a very clear emphasis on drafting players this year that had proven to play. You know, they made non-drafting players with injury history. They made that a priority this year.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So that's one of the reasons I still believe in Linehan is because every year I felt that the glaring needs of the football team have been addressed. Now, whether they've been dressed with the right players or not, that's a different story. But it's not like they're blind and they're thinking, oh, you know, for example, after 2018, it wasn't like they were like, oh, our pass rush is fine. No, they literally traded for D Ford and drafted Nick Bosa. They had drafted the pass rush. But it's time to start asking some difficult questions. It's time to say, this is not working. What do we do? I don't give a fuck that Trey Sermon isn't kissing Bobby T's ass enough. Is he talented? Can he play? To get him on the fucking field, okay? This ain't high school where you're trying to teach people about sportsmanship. If we have football players that can help us win games, riding the bench, that's a fucking issue. And if they can't be contributors to the football team, then that's an issue on our draft process and our draft evaluation. There's no way in hell our third round pick should be a fucking healthy scratch. There's just no way in hell. I don't know, Brian. I mean, how are you feeling?
Nah, I feel about the same way. I mean, I get that they're trying to learn from the mistakes, but signing injury-prone players or like drafting, but you know, they're still rookies. I think just some development, I guess. I mean, it wasn't like the COVID year last year when they didn't have an off season.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I think. Look, I think this might be optimistic. I think a lot of faithful are saying, hey, Ambry Thomas didn't play last year. Give him some time. Give him some time. Give us some time. And fine, I want to believe that. You know, I think Ambry Thomas, fine, give him next year or whatever like that. But I think I might be a little too hopeful. Personally, I think the one that I would put my money on to be more of a hit is Diamador Lenore.
Yeah.
You know, I believe he's the one that we're probably going to be looking that would be a starter or push for a starting spot next year. But it's the biggest one to me is Aaron Banks, because with Mike McGlinchey now officially, you know, having a season end, yeah, we got issues on the offensive line.
I don't even know why we didn't bump up Jalen Moore to the right side. He plays left tackle. He was playing really good, replacing
Trent Williams that one game.
Yeah.
I actually am really actually bright. I really am hopeful about his future, especially with some development, especially considering they didn't even think that he was going to be able to play tackle at the NFL level. Ultimately, they said they drafted him to be a guard.
Yeah.
Um,
But Aaron Banks isn't even active.
he's not even active. So, like, my whole thing about it is, and what hurts the worst is he's not a scheme fit.
Yeah.
He's not a scheme fit.
He's not a Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah, he's not that slender, athletic O lineman that we like. So if he ends up being a bust, it's like, well, motherfucker, I could have told you drafting a nigga that's not a fucking scheme fit was going to be being a problem.
Yeah.
Now, fine. I mean, he's young. It's good. Whatever. But it doesn't bug me that we drafted Aaron Banks.
Mm-mm.
Because offensive line was the issue.
Yeah.
What bugs me is that you had corners available. It's just, I feel that there's a reason that mostly head coaches don't get as much power as they do. There's a reason why you have because if head coaches could be GMs, you wouldn't hire GMs. You would simply just have a head coach.
Yeah.
And I feel that Kyle gets enamored with these players. Look back to Dante Pettis. Look back to Joe Williams. And he gets enamored with these players that I don't know about Trey Sermon, but I know Joe Williams was not on our draft board. And then Kyle basically put him on the draft board and basically was like, look, they can pretend whatever they want and all that shit. Basically, Kyle Shanahan told John Lynch, you're drafting Joe Williams. And look how that turned out. There's a reason GMs are GMs. There's a reason scouts are scouts. And there's a reason coaches are coaches. I bet you that John Lynch couldn't keep up with, or Adam Peters couldn't even hold a candle. Hold Kyle Shanahan's jockstrap when it comes to designing a football scheme, offensive game plan. Adam Peters probably can't hold Kyle Shanahan's jockstrap. But the man knows about the draft. And I feel that that's what we need to do. And I had a little hope for Kyle because at least he allowed Mike McDaniels to have the title of coordinator. How much power and responsibility does McDaniels really truly have? Probably not much. You feel me? His role has probably changed very, very little. Except maybe he deals more with the run game now that, LaFleur is gone. But I believe Wifey is home. We're running about almost 40 minutes. Brian, any last thoughts?
I don't know. I'm just prepared for basically anything because I could definitely see us losing on a big losing streak, but I could also see us scraping some wins. So
I think, look, I don't think that we're going to lose every game. We're going to win more football games. I would like to think we'd beat Jacksonville. I'd like to think that, maybe week 18, the Yams are sitting their starters because they've already won the division. Those type of sitting. So I believe this football team's going to go. We're not going to go freaking 3-14 the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I believe that. So I do believe it's just the reason I think this show is so down is because Jason and I talked about it on Friday, is we felt like this is the one we had to get out of the next two. Because, it is going to be a tall order beating the Yams. And so this is the one, this is why it's a down show, because this is the one where I felt that we had to get. That, because we're starting to run out of games here. The season's about midway. We're starting to run out games here. So it's like, okay, well, if you're not going to get on a winning streak now, we'll win. Because we're starting to run out of time to get on that winning streak that truly, really matters. Yeah, we could go on a 4-game winning streak at the end of the year, but if you're 5 games out of the playoffs, does it really matter?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so we're running out of time to make these wins truly matter. And that's what's making me so depressed. But the season's definitely not over.
Yeah. And one last thing, just start the kid, man.
Yeah. I'm making it official. I'm saying start Trey Lance.
I'm probably the biggest, probably one of the biggest Jimmy G's fan out there. But
love the man.
Start the kid, man.
It's time. It's time. Because at the end of the day, what's the worst that could fucking happen? What, he goes out there and throws 4 picks, and everything like that. Well, I mean, then you know what? If we drafted a kid that can't bounce back and his whole career's ruined because, his second start in the NFL, he went out there and threw 4 picks and got sacked 6 times, then you know what? We made the wrong fucking pick. Good thing that ain't going to ever have a game in his career, even if he turns out to be the greatest quarterback in franchise history. If you think he's not going to have a game where he throws 4 picks, I mean, come on. If you don't think he's going to have a game where he gets sacked 6 times,
yeah.
I mean, come on. That's unrealistic. So let's go. Start the kid. All right, y'all. Thank you, Brian, for coming on today, bro.
Yeah. No
we'll go ahead and we'll make sure everybody to tune in to Brian. Monday night, you're still going to be able. Are you doing post game Monday night?
Yeah.
All right. So join Brian for Monday night on Niner Faithful Radio post game live. We'll see you next week, bro.
All right. Take care, man.
Yep. All right, y'all. Well, before we get out of here, we of course want to get your officially licensed Niner gear by using our affiliate link. Not only do you save 10%, but it really does help out the show. The link will be available in the description of this podcast. And that's all. Hey, that's all I'm about to beat the fucking Sheecocks. You see this link scrolling across the screen right now. Go to SheikGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concerts, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out this show. Of course, go to NinerFaithfulRadio@gmail.com or go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can subscribe to the show. And of course, follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and on Twitter at Niner Faithful R. And thanks for tuning in to the end of the show. As promised, this week's promo code for 10% off of all For the Faithful, By the Faithful t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, anything we have that's For the Faithful, By the Faithful is BLA. 10% is excludes all sales items, and the code expires midnight Tuesday, November 16th. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please remember, the San Francisco 49ers don't always lose a game, but when we do, we're still the best team in NFL history. Faith, love, and happiness. Stay faithful, my friends. Go Niners.
Montana steps up, throws.
See ya.